Hello. Well, it's August, if you can believe that. It's or August. Okay, yeah, it's early. It is October. Was what I meant to say. I don't know. I don't know why that. Welcome to this week's Monday morning quarterback. So I always just for this just pull up the first story that looks somewhat interesting that maybe would be of some benefit to you. And I saw this one. And this one is about the threat of QR codes, which is pretty interesting to me because this is a fairly common thing that also has a fairly common kind of problem in terms of it's very easy to hack these, not with some elaborate, oh, I learned how to draw a little extra dot on the code as much as it's just slapping another code on top of it. And so the ones I've seen are where they just literally put a sticker over something on a menu, say, and that ends up being a hack because you could put a different code there. So basically, these guys were talking about in this story that some pretty obvious statements like, although I guess it's not obvious, is 81% of Americans now own a smartphone. So that tells you that's probably a larger percentage than Americans who know how to read. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but I mean, I would definitely say that's a pretty high number of Americans to do anything. So 81% of Americans have a smartphone, and probably, except for really old ones or people that have phones that I don't know how they're defining a smartphone here, but basically most of these can read these QR codes, right? I mean, we've all seen QR codes being all around. So what the numbers say, hint, it's not good. His company, Mobile Iron. Okay, because I was seeing it like Mobile Iran. I have a problem with Mobile Iran. Mobile Iron. I get it. Okay. Mobile Iron. Mobile Iron. All right. I got it. Um, so they did a survey, 2,100 consumers, and confirmed that QR codes were indeed more widely used today. I mean, I'm not sure that's. Honestly, sometimes you have to do studies to prove stuff that's painfully obvious. One third. Okay, here's some interesting stuff. One third of mobile users scanned a QR code at a restaurant, bar, retailer, or consumer product. I don't know when the last. I mean, with all the weirdness, I don't know how often I've scanned one, but these are really common all over the place. And I mean, I see them all. I think the last one I scanned was at a restaurant. That was, it was like scan this code, and in fact I know it was a restaurant because I remember I went in there and it was like scan this code and we'll download our app and all this other stuff, and I was like, okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so here we go. So what are the risks of QR codes? So QR codes are like a replacement for barcodes, right? And barcodes are these really, really basic kinds of things, and all this is just about bandwidth. So an original barcode, I don't know how much information was in it, but this thing contains massive amounts of information, the potential for massive amounts of information. And so obviously, if I have a fake one, I could get in all kinds of trouble. So this is all the things that they say hackers can do. Add a contact listing. That seems pretty easy, right? Because if you were at the point in installing, so you click on this, it says, I mean, you're standing in this restaurant and it says click on this for 10% off, and you click on it and it immediately says allow, double click to allow. Well, guess what you just did? You just granted some level of privilege to a stray app like you do I mean, and by you I include myself. Add a contact, so yeah, I can see that for sure. I'm not here trying to refute this article. I just was like reading it. Definitely, I can see that one. Initiate a phone call. Yeah, why not? I mean, an app. If an app has enough privilege, it could definitely do that. So, initiating a call is just, yeah. Or I probably better would be to like send your phone number off to the side. Send your phone number off via text or something. Text someone. So these are all things that could definitely happen, but they don't seem terrible yet. They could lead to terrible. Write an email. Yeah. Make a payment. Uh-oh. Now it's getting ugly, right? I mean, all this stuff up here is just kind of bad. This stuff started sounding like a lot worse. Make a payment. So if the QR code is malicious, absolutely, and that would really be bad. This may be the worst one I've seen so far, because if the app has enough privilege to trigger another app, or just simply make a payment to whoever the QR code, they just hit you with a $500 payment, or usually cons like this are going to be smaller. They don't want you calling the FBI, so they keep it under $5,000 for sure. Reveal the user's location. I can see that being a threat. It's like target an ad and get, people of whatever gender you're trying to attract, or to, whatever you're trying to do. I can see that. Follow social media accounts. Ooh. Well, that's kind of interesting. So it could be, so they go ahead and have you follow somebody. It triggers a follow, and then, of course, you immediately get, that person notifies you, follow me back. Let me follow you, or they follow you. I don't know. It's creepy. Those are more like creepers, yeah. Add a preferred Wi-Fi network. Ooh, there's a nasty one. So you're going in a restaurant. I slap my fake code over the sign. It says, scan here for our daily specials. You grab it. You take it in there. You're talking. It says, double click to approve. Double click. App installs. The app, not only does it select it forces your phone to deselect the local Wi-Fi and select mine out in the van. So if I'm sitting out in the van with a Wi-Fi pineapple or something, or even just a regular old, a Wi-Fi node, it could probably capture everybody in the restaurant, just about, if I had some stickers stuck up. I would probably stick them out front, though, like put this code here, and they've got a sign out there that says do this or whatever, and you get people to scan it when they're going in, and then you've got access to all. You could really just, that's nasty. So all this combined is super nasty, because I add a contact to your phone that says Doug White, then I maybe make a call to me, or I send stuff. And of course, remember, there's other apps that could be combined with this that actually can grab even multi-factor authentication off of it's called an overlay attack. And they can grab the little code that you get sent. So if the app could trigger another app that looks through all the things you have installed, that could be really bad. And then write an email. Certainly, emails that come from you or phone calls that come from you could easily expand the web of this thing. So what if it texted, everybody in your address book and said, hey, you should try out this cool new app that I just got. And to all your friends who see the text come from you, and then they all install this botnet or whatever it is as well. Definitely a nasty thing. So let's see what they recommend. Yeah, this is one of those things that you don't think about. It's like the skimmers. It's like you should always, and now I don't want to, because I don't want to touch anything. When you go to the gas station and you have to put in gas, I always grab the credit card reader and make sure it feels like it's permanently attached, because it's really easy for people to stick a fake credit card reader over the top of another credit card reader, so your card slides through that one and back out. Now most of mine are chip cards now, so these chip cards, which I can hold the front of it up, these kind of chip cards, they actually, when you plug them in, theoretically the skimmer is going to have a problem with this, but maybe not. I don't trust them, but I don't know what you can do about it either. So take a good look at what you're scanning. And obviously, you're going in a club at 2 in the morning in Manhattan, and there's a QR code stuck on the wall outside that says, get 10% off all drinks in the club if scan this code and install our app. And you probably, and who knows where that thing came from. And I don't even know how you would tell, because if I go stick that on a wall, outside on the, out on the surface of the wall, and, people are scanning it while they're standing in line trying to get in the club, I could see that. I mean, that's a way, that was a way they used to target cell phones, was by using cell phone or cell scopes. And, people would sit near, if you could get a room or an apartment or something near a club where you knew people were going to be lined up for hours, you could easily throw up free Wi-Fi. So by putting that out there, that's a pretty easy thing to do. And, of course, you can go in the club, too, right? I mean, you can go in there and stick stickers in the bathroom. You can stick stickers on their menus. You can stick stickers all over the place that say, get 10% off. And then when, the people go up to the bar and go, I want my 10% off. And they're going, what? We don't know anything about this. I'd probably think of something that wasn't going to trigger an alert. Yeah, like, get 10% off your next visit. Or even better, I guess I would build out like a copy of the club's menu or something and put it on an actual app so that people were going, oh, this is handy. And the club's going, wow, we didn't even build that. Somebody built that for us. And maybe they would actually advocate it, that would be pretty funny. Only scan codes from trusted entities. So, this one's tricky because if you go to cons, if you go traveling or whatever, you'll see these things all the time. I remember scanning one of these things in like the Frankfurt airport because it was like, get information on your flight from our flight app, and there's like a QR code up on the wall. Bitly's, I don't know, is that how you say? This is one of those, I don't know how to say it. I'll probably say Bitly, and Paul will be like, no, it's called BITLY or something, BitLY, or so. I always have it wrong. I used to say URL as well. I said URL before anybody. Everybody says URL now. So check the URL of a Bitly link that appears. So yeah, I mean these abbreviated links to URLs are definitely dangerous things because if you see Bitlys, they can very easily be a problem. And there's a lot of different kinds of attacks, even with known domains. One of the attacks I would mention to you is called a puny code. And a puny code is where you license a domain like Apple, A with an umlaut, PPLE, or A with an umlaut, PPL with a slash through it, E. So that's like that L with a slash through it is a W or something in Polish. And or maybe it's a SZ. I don't remember. No, it's not an SZ. It's an L with a slash through it. I think it sounds like a W or something. Anyway, when you put that on a browser window, it doesn't display those more advanced extended character set characters. So it actually would say apple.com. But when you click on it, you don't go to apple.com. You go to A with umlauts, PP, L with a slash through it, E. Yeah. Nasty. So definitely tricky. Convenience is one of those things that everybody pursues, and you're sitting on a train or a bus, and there's a QR code that says, "Hey, scan this for your arrival times," and you do, and maybe they've even written a real app that goes out and pulls down arrival times for the current train or something. But who knows what else it might do? So, and it's really tricky to evaluate because the minute you give it approval, it starts installing itself, right? Hey, well, here's the first sentence. Hopefully your company is using an on-device mobile threat defense solution. Yeah, good luck, because those are really tough. An on-device mobile threat defense solution sounds awesome, but in terms of, how does it work and how well does it work, especially against phishing where you've approved the transaction? I mean, I don't care what kind of defense you have. If you click the link and it says, "Are you sure?" and you say yes, and it says double click to approve, admin mode root install, and you go, "Well, yeah, I want the app." I mean, you just approved every step of the way. So, maybe the defense solution doesn't work very well. It probably does against known threats. So if it's something with a signature that they have on file, but I don't know. Educate, sometimes that helps, but people standing in line at clubs at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning who've been to 3 other clubs already don't tend to, be like, I don't know, Bill. I think I'll behave responsibly and not scan that QR code that says scan here and everybody will love you, Free sample of Draco Noir if you scan this code. I know that's a dated reference, but the modern translation is Axe body spray. So, yeah. Sorry if you're a heavy user of those products. Eliminating password, but yeah. So I think this is probably the ultimate thing we can wrap on here. Is really the secret to a lot of this is multi-factor authentication. I already told you that some of these new malwares can actually do an overlay attack and get the code. So it may be that you don't want to use that kind of multi-factor, the text me kind, which is what everybody uses, right? If you use it's very difficult then to use YubiKeys and things like that with your phone. So the problem is that if you have multi-factor and the thing can do an overlay attack and although that's rare, so don't freak out. The overlay attack requires an exploit, so it's not just something you can do. It's an actual exploit. But so multi-factor is definitely starting point, and then beyond the multi-factor stuff would be you being careful. So I think if you have multi-factor turned on and you're at least reasonable about these things, maybe that's not a bad idea. And if you do go out to clubs at 3 in the morning, maybe disable the QR scan or something, and and that'll remind you if you have to enable it. I don't know how you disable it, but maybe you could disable that app or something. I'm not sure. Or maybe if you go out doing a lot of partying, and I did recommend this to somebody once, who was a wealthy person who went to a lot of parties. I recommended they get a party phone. I told them just get a phone that has nothing on it except it's like a burner, and it's just got your bare minimum stuff. And the person was not very excited about that because they wanted their contact list and all this stuff. And I was like, it's just for parties. And so maybe that's sort of a solution, or maybe the company phones you could no longer use with just anything at all. It'd be very locked down. I don't know. Anyway, interesting article. Just thought I would share that with you. I hope you are ready to have a good week. And sorry, I thought that was porn for a second, but it's actually just an Amazon music ad. Maybe when you start seeing porn and everything. All right. Well, anyway, you guys have a nice day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.